3 decades ago, the University of California Regents opened a San Diego campus at the height of the Cold War. Land-based missiles were aimed at this and other American cities from as close as 90 miles offshore. We too participated in the horrific endgame called mutual annihilation by pointing an even larger number of missiles at the citizens of the Soviet Union. The launching of the Russian Sputnik was emblematic of the superpower tussle for first place. It is of little wonder, then, that the new San Diego campus opened as a reflection of that period and sought to strengthen the scientific research by building on the Scripps Institute of Oceanography in creating its first college, later named in honor of my colleague Roger Revelle. Its philosophy and folklore continues to express those charter ideals through a highly structured and rigorous curriculum. The founding of the second college at UCSD a few years later was something of a reflex action. Muir College anticipated the free speech movement on the Berkeley campus by offering its students in 1967 a general education curriculum which maximized choice within the array of disciplinary requirements. As a counterbalance to Revelle, the lore and philosophic outlook of Muir College emphasizes an appreciation of the humanities. History professor Armin Rappaport was tapped to lead the development of the third of UCSD's colleges. He envisioned a college that would rise above the fray, less focused on the now, a college devoted to the study of classical antiquity. His hope was to name the college Clio, in recognition of the Greek muse of history. But then, 1968 happened. The optimism of the civil rights movement that had been building as early as the Brown decision in '54 and continuing through the 1963 March on Washington was dashed with the assassinations of Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. The events of 1968 were as tragic as they were prophetic. As a civilization, we wondered aloud whether we really could all get along. But 1968 also gave voice to a new progressivism that was built less on optimism and more on direct action. A young civil rights attorney working in Mississippi named Marion Wright knew then that the unheralded efforts of Fannie Lou Hamer needed to be translated into a national agenda. It was out of this new conception for American institutions that the Children's Defense Fund was born. Professor Rappaport's well-intentioned plan for a college founded on the distant utopian principles of enlightenment came crashing down. In its place, a college was born that reflected the dynamic nature of the moment. While scores of American cities burned, San Diego set to fashion an academic institution, a college, that would prepare generations of young scholars and citizens to interpret and complete the work of a great society. Led by black and brown students, the San Diego campus was challenged to become an instrument of that change. The charter faculty, staff, and students of Third College knew that the very fabric of the campus had to be rethought, starting with its administration. That first summer, the leadership of Third College was a committee of students and faculty who literally hired faculty, teachers, staff, selected building plans, approved curriculum, and sought to create a more diverse population of scholars and citizens here at UC San Diego. What they and subsequent generations of students and faculty could never agree upon was a meaningful name to describe this ambitious undertaking. Therefore, ever since its opening in 1970, this institution has been known by its number, Third College. In spite of that historic indecision, we have gotten on with the business of reshaping education under the leadership of my predecessors, who I would like to have you help me recognize this afternoon. Bill Frazier, who said he could not attend for perhaps what is the best reason, that is he's teaching freshman physics. Joseph Watson, the first provost of Third College. Joe? My immediate predecessor, Faustina Solis. Under their leadership, academic programs flourished in the fields of communication, Third World Studies, Ethnic Studies, Chicano Studies, Science and Technology, Contemporary Black Arts, Teacher Education, and Asian American Studies. More recently, Thurgood College has added to the campus-wide programs of Honors Achievement Workshop and Method of Inquiry, and I'd like to introduce the two directors of that program who happen to be sitting in our front row, Manuelita and Dr. Willie Brown. I draw your attention, however, to the two most recent developments because they strike at the reestablishment of the charter mission of this college, as expressed by the students in 1970. The Marshall Institute opens this year under the leadership of Professor Peter Irons. Its mission is threefold. First, the Institute will encourage scholars working on issues related to education and public law. Second, because of its connection to Thurgood Marshall College, the Marshall Institute will encourage and support undergraduate research in education and public law. And finally, the institution will regularly host conferences and symposia on related topics, beginning with this coming spring's National Symposium recognizing the 40th anniversary of the unanimous decision in Brown v. Board. Under the direction of Professor Rafael Hernandez, the Partners at Learning program, PAL, trains and places Thurgood Marshall College students in local inner-city elementary schools to serve as tutors and mentors. The view here is to treat all of our students, regardless of major, whether it's engineering or music, to treat all of our students both as scholar and as citizen, to encourage their development intellectually and personally, to, in a sense, see to it that UCSD invests its most cherished gift in the community, and that is its young, vibrant people. A reporter recently asked me if this naming process marked a turning point for Thurgood College. I replied that I believe that this is indeed a point of arrival. We have always been about the life and career of Thurgood Marshall. In the spirit of Justice Marshall, our first students and faculty saw their mission as creating a college founded on the notion that academic excellence and social responsibility need not be competing virtues. We now have a moniker, an icon, a name, which will not allow any of us, whether we are students, faculty, alumni, or members of the general community, to shrink from the broader mission of education. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the era of Thurgood Marshall College at UCSD. Thank you.